And like we said, we only have one card to go off here. You got one?
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm so nervous. As we do that, like even the dog is starting to get nervous.
Growl.
So let's recap this. I don't know who the person you're thinking of is.
No.
Right? I might know them, but I don't know who them. But you thought of their first, middle, and last name.
Mm-hmm.
You counted the characters up. You worked out what their card is. It'd be interesting to find out what your card is later on.
Yeah.
But everyone has their own unique birthday card.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Whether it's Di Jones from down the pub or Lloyd Thomas Barnes sitting right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
But you now have one playing card in mind. You avoided obvious choices as well.
Yeah.
Yeah? What playing card are you thinking of?
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
This might be the best trick I've ever done.
Yay! Oh my God. I love that. Oh my God, how does that work?
Yo, what? 15,000 subscribers today. 15,000. Doesn't it feel like it was just yesterday I was sitting right here celebrating 10,000 and now it's like 4-5 weeks later and we're at 15,000? Like, what is going on? How is this channel growing so quick? I'm not complaining. Thank you. I love all of you. Like, I don't understand it, but I appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you see when these videos land first. I just can't quite grasp we've hit another milestone so darn quickly. So today, really quickly, I'm going to show you an uncut live performance of my brand new psych force. You can all do this at home. Just follow the instructions to what I say. There's a few things that I like about this, but I'm going to tell you all about it at the end of the video. So stick around after the live performance. I'm also going to explain to you exactly how this works, and more importantly, why this works. So let's just dive straight into the uncut performance. I will say, and I swear to you, on my child's life, on my wife's life, on my heart and soul, this is not set up. What you see is a real live uncut performance with no setup. Kaylee is not set up in any way. I didn't pre-show her or do anything. And you'll understand that as soon as you see the explanation. This is 100% surefire if they follow the directions. There'd be no point in doing this if I was just going to have Kaylee pretend. Especially when you're going to learn the method. Let's watch the performance. Welcome back to another episode of Fooler. This one is a risky one because I have no backup tricks to perform this week, and we have to go. And Kaylee has to go and get the baby from nursery, so we can't shoot. And it's Thursday. I'm doing an emergency last-minute shoot. So you'll be watching this like an hour after it's shot. I have one trick to shoot, and the trick that I planned for this week, stupidly, is I'll tell you all in a moment. You kind of know these types of things, but there's only one shot at this. So if this goes wrong, I don't have an episode of Fooler for this week.
But it's not my fault.
No, it's not your fault. This isn't your fault. I'll tell you one thing as well, which is annoying. I've practiced this once.
At least he's practiced it.
Like, practiced once with Midge over WhatsApp via voice back and forth messages.
But that's okay.
So, with that being said, if this goes wrong, I still want you to, I think a lot of you, especially if you're interested in this sort of stuff, I think a lot of you will take something big away from it. But this might go wrong. Genuinely might go wrong. So if it does, it does. But the bigger principles at play is what's important here.
Okay.
Cool?
Yeah.
All right. So I didn't even bring a deck. There's no outs. There's one card. One card. You can't see it.
Yeah.
Swear to the camera, by the way, that you're not in on this.
I'm not in on this. There was a card put over there when I came down from my shower. He was like, "Don't look at that card."
Yeah, exactly. There's no point in doing this if Kaylee's in on it. I'm going to tell you the method anyway. It doesn't matter if this goes right or wrong, so you'll see how it works. But this is
it's
not
not fun for me if I'm in on it anyway.
Well, you won't give a real reaction.
No.
Okay. So, here we go. And don't forget, normally this wouldn't be done as a Fooler episode. You perform this to somebody in real life.
Yeah.
But we'll go like this. Now, me and my wife, you're probably sick to death of magic and card tricks and everything that comes with it. But you probably know some cool things about magic too that other people don't.
Yeah.
A deck of cards represents the calendar. The 4 suits are like the 4 seasons.
Oh, yeah.
Black suits are like winter. Did you not know? I've told you this before.
No.
I've definitely told you this before.
Okay, I don't
Red suits are like summers and spring. Black suits are like cold and winter months.
Oh, nice, yeah.
The 13 values, ace through to king,
Yeah.
are the 13 lunar phases. of the moon.
Oh.
Then you get, if you add up all the values, it adds up to 365 of all the cards together.
No.
Yeah. And what else? There's something else with it as well.
That's cool.
But basically, a deck of cards represents a calendar.
Right.
And there's a trick in Magic called the birthday card trick. And basically, you can literally work out every single person's card for their birthday depending on when they were born. Right?
Oh, cool.
Very well researched effect. I don't have any version of it. This is not that.
Okay.
But this is what I've been working on. And I had this idea 2 nights ago. And I woke up. I told you about the idea. I woke up, right. So there's something in Greece, which I found out from Titanis, called...
Right.
They celebrate birthdays, but they also celebrate their name days. And they give it a name, which is quite cool. And this got me onto this path of thinking of this idea. Everyone has a unique birthday, which represents a playing card for them. But also, everyone's name can represent a playing card too.
Right.
Okay? Which is quite interesting. I'll explain to you how.
Okay.
Now, I know you. I know your full name. You know my full name. So I'm not going to use you. And this is the way I would do it as well. If in the real world, I wouldn't use the person's real name.
Okay.
But, for example, my full name is Lloyd Thomas Barnes, right? And what I would do is I would just count the letters in my name and then count the letters in the name of a playing card, and whichever one is the same amount of letters, and it's easy to figure out, I'll actually run you through it. Whichever one has the same sort of amount of letters, that would be my card. And sometimes there's multiple cards that have the same thing, so you can choose mentally from a bunch of different cards.
Right.
So I want you to think of somebody that you specifically know their full name. Don't tell me, do not tell me, because it makes no sense otherwise.
Yeah.
It could be family members and stuff, because I know you've got a bunch of family, but I don't want to know the person you're thinking of.
Okay.
Therefore, I can't know their name. Do you know their name? Yeah? Do you know their full name?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
So, really quickly, if you can, count up the letters in their name.
Oh, hang on.
Kaylee is has dyscalculia, so what's it called?
Don't look at my hands.
Okay, I won't look at your hands. You can show the cam. This is it. While Kaylee's doing this, everyone, you can all do this at home. So think of somebody you know at home, where you know their full name. Okay, so their first, middle, and last name. Get one in mind and count how many letters are in their name. Okay, so do that now. You can pause the video until you count it. But for you, you have that in mind? Perfect. So now, this could be a name like, for example, Joe Blogs, right? A name like Joe Blogs, their card would be something like, you're going to count the letters in the name of the card. For example, 2 clubs. So Joe could be TWO.
Yeah.
Clubs, like blogs.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be specifically... Their first name is 3 letters, so the card's first value has to be 3 letters. So
No, it can carry on throughout the whole name.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly,
okay,
right?
okay.
So I'll just give you an example of some names out there. And obviously, avoid the really obvious ones. Like if I was to ask you to think of a value, most people think of 7
Yeah.
or queens.
Yeah.
They're the obvious ones. Get them out of the way. For example, I would be like, I think I'm like the 3 of spades or 3 spades for me or something. But obviously, don't use my card or value.
No.
So
Okay.
get them in mind. Or figure out. I don't know. This may take a while. This is a situational thing. But look what's interesting here. While Kaylee's doing this, she's thinking of anyone she wants to, anyone she knows, and she's creating their very own playing card. Then there's no way that I could know what that is. It's pretty interesting as a concept whilst she's figuring this out. And like we said, we only have 1 card to go off here. You got one?
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm so nervous. As we do that, like, even the dog is starting to get nervous.
Gravel.
So let's recap this. I don't know who the person you're thinking of is.
No.
Right? I might know them, but I don't know who them. But you thought of their first, middle, and last name? You counted the characters up. You worked out what their card is. It'd be interesting to find out what your card is later on.
Yeah.
But everyone has their own unique birthday card.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Whether it's Di Jones from down the pub or Lloyd Thomas Barnes sitting right in front of you. But you now have 1 playing card in mind. You avoided obvious choices as well.
Yeah.
Yeah? What playing card are you thinking of?
Oh God. The 8 of diamonds.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
This might be the best trick I've ever done.
Yay! Oh my God. I love that.
Sorry.
Oh my God, how does that work? That was over there for like ages.
I know.
I was doing my
I'm actually really chuffed that we had 1 shot on this. What, legit.
Well done.
I'm
Well
teaching
done.
you all this. This is not, I promise you, this is not Amber Heard testimony. This is not fake tears of crying. This is not acting.
Oh, I love that. Do you want to know who I was thinking about? Who? Guess.
Your mum.
Nope.
Oh. Your grandmother?
No. Wasn't. It's not part.
Our son?
No.
Oh, who?
Rebecca Chapel.
Rebecca Chapel.
Yep.
Wow. Oh, well, there you go. That's one of her best friends, one of her bridesmaids at her wedding. Really quickly, because I know you have to go and collect the baby.
The baby, yeah.
Fool her?
Yeah.
Did that fool you?
Totally, yeah. Because I did it all. You didn't know who I was going to pick.
Yeah. You could have picked. You truly could have picked.
I could have picked anyone. I did change my mind actually because I picked my sister first, and then I thought, no, I bet he's worked his out.
Yeah. Well, that's one way of potentially achieving this effect is to force the person to work out the card. Entertainment value.
Yeah, entertaining.
I know you were sitting there figuring out the characters, but there is something interesting about the story of it. Like everything happened. The
story's lovely. I like that. That bit caught me first, and I found that interesting. So that brought me into the trick already. So it is entertaining.
The one thing I'll say is that Kaylee is dyscalculus.
It's hard for me to count.
So she struggles with numbers.
I can count fine.
Yeah, no, but she struggles with numbers and maths and things.
Yeah, it's
a form of dyslexia, but for numbers.
So
probably the worst person in the world to do this on is you.
Yeah, and I found it hard to mentally listen to you at the same time as counting.
When I was talking to the camera.
But you gave me enough time to do that, which was great.
I'm glad it worked on you, specifically, because if it'll work on you,
it'll work on anyone then, because I if that messed up, it would have been my fault, because I can't count. Well, I can count, but I muddle everything up, so yeah.
I don't think it would have been your fault.
I would say a 4 for entertainment, just because there's so much mentally for me to do.
Yeah.
And then I'm also, because I know it's a trick and I know you're a magician trying to fool me, I am also trying to listen to your patter to make sure I don't miss anything. So I think as a spectator, they would still be doing that, and you'd still buy into the trick. It is a brilliant trick, but I think the mental, figuring it out, takes a lot longer in that trick. So you have to.
I think the way this would be done best is if we were having a coffee at a coffee shop or at a bar.
Yeah, chill, not in a massive nightclub.
You were playing this game the other day. Do you remember where it says Lloyd Barnes loves Kaylee, and it's a schoolyard thing, and you cross off and you work out the numbers.
Yeah.
Right. I would even be down for doing that with someone.
On a table,
on a table, pen and paper. I know it sounds ridiculous, right? But
I would have found
go ahead and work out what your name card is. I think it's quite a cool, fun concept. Yeah. It's a universal thing. So we all sort of played those games in school.
Yeah.
To be able to do it mentally with someone is great because it really relieves. And you did do it mentally. So
so anyone can.
You can make it ultra easy, basically, if you want to. But situationally, just doing it casually,
quiet place, chill.
And also the other thing is, once they have the card in mind, you can then reframe everything and bring it into something bigger. So you can then potentially you could have this card in a birthday card with someone's name on it. Maybe you could predict the name on the card itself, magicians. And you can say, it's funny, the person you were thinking of was Becky.
Yeah.
Here's a birthday card for Becky. Inside the birthday card, there's one card that you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom,
Amazing.
boom.
That's another level onto your reveal.
I think that doing that sort of stuff would get rid of the initial first part.
Yeah, because it wouldn't make you think of, oh my God, that was so much work, but he got my card. It would make me think, oh my God, I did all that work, and oh my God, he guessed her name, he guessed her card, he had this birthday card, it was a big reveal. Yeah. I love stages especially card tricks, because card tricks are hard, because I know some methods and some, this, I don't know.
Don't you really?
No.
Honestly? That's a big one for me, because I know it, I can't unknow it.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to learn this soon, right? I'm going to teach you in the video.
And me.
And you, if you want to. Yeah, I can teach you if you want. Yeah, I can teach on you. I suppose it keeps the timing down. How long are we in now? Okay, so... Yeah, I suppose I'll teach you right now if you want. Keep the video short.
Go on then.
I'll run you through this really quick, everyone. There's not really much of a big explanation for this. There's a few key points you just have to remember. So first of all, there is only one card. There's no outs. It's always going to be the 8 of diamonds if they follow along and do the job correctly. Which is what I love, because the psych forces... This is pretty... If they do it properly, they can't have another card. That's it.
Right.
Right? Which is cool, I think. I say, my name is Lloyd Thomas Barnes.
Yeah.
I know your name. And whoever you perform it to, I can find out your name. The one thing I couldn't find out is somebody's name that you know. even if I know that, we're going to know what name you're going to think of.
Okay.
So think of somebody where you specifically know their full name,
Yeah.
which is just a normal statement, really, when you know someone's name, right? But because I've framed it as Lloyd Thomas Barnes, my first, middle, and surname, and I think I did reiterate to you at one point the middle name as well. They're going to think of somebody where they know their middle name as well, because it's everyone knows somebody else with a first, middle, and last name, but not everyone else has a middle name. So when you say think of somebody where you specifically know their full name, it makes you think of somebody. Did Becky have a middle name as well? Yeah. That's good, right? So now somebody's full name is going to add up to like 15 in characters, no matter what. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of examples where it doesn't, but it's pretty hard to. But either way, it's going to do that.
Because I thought of my sister first, and hers does too.
Yeah. So and she's got a fairly short name.
Yeah.
Right. Without saying it on camera.
Yeah, it's like five.
Her middle name is short.
5.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And if you really worry, you say, and make sure you think of like their full legal name. So if it was Joe, you'd say Joseph, or Matt, you'd say Matthew. But so somebody you know their full name. It's not even a. Then the layman is not going to think of the method here. No. Right? They're not going to the method. It's not going to connect the dots. Yeah, it's just not going to. Okay, so now you think of somebody's full name, you counted up the characters, and how many did it come to for you?
17.
17, right? So I say, now we're going to work out what their card is. It's really simple. So if their name was like Joe Blogs, which is a general, like, global name, which people say, or John Doe, right? Then that's a 6-letter word, which is great because that's short. The 2 examples I'm going to give are short names, but I know they're not thinking of a short name because I've just told them to think of somebody with a long name, right? And the long names are always going to be that big. So I give an example. So I give an example of 2 short names, and I say like Joe Blogs would be 2 clubs, TWO clubs. But it doesn't have to be because it's a 2. A Joe is JOE or Joseph. You'd be thinking, I just use Joe. But then it just sets this sort of example of they can have any card, and in their mind, then they're thinking, well, they can have any card because Joe Blogs would work for any card in the deck or above.
They can only have that one.
So the other thing about that is that, using the example of Joe Blogs or John Doe really kind of wouldn't work, but Joe Blogs would. Jonathan Doe would probably be their full legal name, right? If they couldn't figure it out. But that sort of covers every card in the deck, from 2 of clubs, ace of clubs, and beyond. Because I think ace 2, 6, 10 of clubs are the shortest written cards in the deck. Which means, sorry, just for 2 seconds, which means that to them, they really can now think of any card. Or the person they're thinking of could have applied to any card in the deck. Okay?
But they're always going to think of diamonds. Do you know?
Yes.
Because I was thinking this, just as you were explaining that.
And this is what Midge said.
I was thinking, well, hang on. Even if I picked something like 7 or 8 that have got 5 or 6, 5 letters in, well, I'm going to need something massive on the end to fill this name.
Yeah.
So I had to have diamonds. And diamonds was the biggest.
Midge said this was the bit that flew over his head. And he's a mentalist. He said that's the bit that didn't feel like a force at all.
No. Not at all. Because I was going, right, I need to...
You just get rid of the spades, the clubs, and the hearts. They're
completely
gone.
They're
completely gone.
Yeah.
And then I say, now, if I was to ask you to think of a value, if I just ask you to think of a number from 1 to 10, most people think of 7. We all know this. So avoid the obvious ones like queens and 7s.
So
queen and 7 are 5-letter words.
Yeah.
And then I say, my name's Lloyd Barnes, so mine would be the 3 of spades. I don't even think it is. I haven't worked it out. But I get rid of the 3. I say, but don't use my card.
Yeah.
So don't use that value.
So I went for the 8 because it had the most letters.
Yeah.
And I went for the diamonds because it has the most letters.
That's it. I don't think 8 of diamonds even adds up to 17. And I say to you,
it adds up to 15 because I was like, well, I'm really confused now because I'm on 15. And then you...
Yeah, and I'd say to you, if it doesn't come to the same amount of letters, then just go to the closest card to it.
Yeah.
Which means ideally you want a name over 15. I think EIGHTDIAMONDS.
Oh, I put the 13 in there.
Yeah, you put the off, it doesn't matter, it's still 15. So all they need is a name to be over 13, and a full name with 3 letters is going to be over 13. Yeah. I can't think of anyone. I've tried to find and think of people whose names are over 13 in length. Or I was doing 15. Couldn't think of any. So I say, if the name you're thinking of is over, just go to the closest card to it. Which then You got rid of the 3, you got rid of the 7, you got rid of the queen. That's all you need to do is say don't use those. So say don't use 7s, because everyone thinks a 7. Don't use queens, it's the most obvious card in the deck. Use your example as the 3, say, but don't use my card. Now they have to use 8. They have to use 8, they have to use diamonds. That's it. They can't be another card. So as long as they've just followed your directions, you force the 8 of diamonds psychologically every single time.
That's amazing. Why didn't I not think of that?
There's layer into it though.
Yeah.
Think of the whole point of you thinking of any person, that overshadows the force in nature, because you start thinking of people that you know and you love, and you think, well, there's no way you could know who I'm thinking of. You're focusing that I couldn't know who you're thinking of.
Yeah.
At the end, you said, I bet you didn't know who I was thinking of. I don't care who they're thinking of, but you do, because that's personal. That's personal to them, not to me. So you were thinking about the person, not the card.
Yeah.
And that overshadows the rest of the work.
But if you could also get the person, do it in a birthday card, make it a massive reveal.
Yeah.
Those points would have gone way up.
The other thing I should have done that. The other thing you could do really quickly before we log off is if they are going to really struggle with the numbers, like Kaylee is number dyslexic. So you're not going to find many people worse than Kaylee.
Yeah.
You could just very quickly, you could literally either write it down and show ace has 3, 2 has 3, 3 has 5, 4 has 4, 5 has 4, blah, blah, blah. And the same with the suits. You could say, oh, look, if it helps, here's a little card that shows you very quickly. So you could literally have a card with it written on, like a white card.
Yeah.
You would have done that in seconds then.
I would have done it easier, yeah.
And that's, again, to them, it doesn't matter. It's not a force because they could be thinking of anyone. Mm-hmm. But they can't. That's not how this works. So that is, I don't know what the name of this is. I told you I had an idea in my dream that woke me up out of my sleep. This is the idea. I tested it on Midge, tested it on you. This might be my ultimate psych force. Every magician sort of looks for the ultimate psych force. For me personally, this is by far the best one I've ever created. Mm-hmm. Most 100% surefire.
I did love it.
I'm going to road test it a lot more. I'm sure there's some interesting things to find out along the way as I perform this more to more people. Mm-hmm. But it's 100% success, 2 out of 2. 100% success rate so far. I can't see it failing if people just follow the instructions. I may even actually write that card to help people.
That'd be a good idea.
But that's
it would have helped me.
Firstly, I hope the effect worked for you. I hope you all got the same card. You should have if you followed along correctly. I'm assuming that in some countries, in some places, there may be very, 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 very short names. In those situations, you can probably, if you followed this far, you can probably figure out some workarounds to go along with it. So I'm guessing it may not work for every single one of you, but as long as you clear off 3, 7, and queen, then this has to pretty much work every single time. That's the beauty of it. And even if you don't clear those off, you could have, if you wanted to have outs, then you could have those 4 cards as out, and it's going to be 100% surefire every single time. But I personally, I think this works so well because the 8 is a random number to people, especially when 7 is so obvious, queens are so obvious. You use the 3 as yourself. 8 of diamonds is such a random card in the deck. It feels random. Like sometimes when you're like if you do a psych force for a queen of hearts and they see the queen of hearts, or especially like the ace of spades, I've done that in the past and people go, oh yeah, but you knew I was going to name that. So even if you do go for the real gutsy ones, even when it hits, sometimes it's anticlimactic. It's like, well, yeah, that's pretty obvious. And I can think of 2 occasions where I've had that exact deflated reaction with a random card like the 8 of diamonds. It feels great. The other thing is they're thinking of a person. They're thinking of someone that you couldn't know. So when they're thinking in their head, it's like, well, there's no way you could have known who I was thinking of. There's just no way. They're not thinking about the method, which is the beauty of this. And the other thing is, it's fun. It's interesting. The idea of the birthday card is an interesting concept. You see that affect that whole plot. Like Michael Close's birthday card plot. It hooks people in. It actually gives it a reason for being the card. The same with this. It's a name card. And it gives a reason for it, and it's much more powerful than just being spurious. So this is some of the reasons why it works. I implore you to all go off and try it and test it. And as always, comment down below what you think. And I love it when you guys give suggestions, because a lot of you have already improved a lot of my material by suggesting your own input, because we're a community, and that's what it's all about. The second thing I want to address is you'll notice Tutorial Tuesday's video has been taken down. That's because the method overlapped. It was slightly too similar to somebody else's that's on the market. And there was 2 options, as always. I could have kept the video up, or I could have done the right thing and taken it down. And as always, you've got to do the right thing in these situations. So mine wasn't inspired by this person's. Mine was inspired by the work of Amar, David Regal, a nice thing I'd seen from Wilbur. And it's sent from my old back catalogue, so I'd had this for years and years before knowing about the other one. And the only reason I'm not going to say the other person's name and creation is because for those of you that did see the download yesterday, the tutorial yesterday, you could go back and potentially figure out his effect. So I don't want to expose it in that manner by telling you the name and person because his effect's really good and you could see it and it'll still fool you. But if I tell you what it is, then you could go try and backtrack if you'd seen yesterday's video. So it's only purely out of respect from the creator. So I got an email from someone else that said the creator feels like the methods are too similar. Even though mine's with a box and his with something else, and I have my own things in there, too similar. I weighed up the evidence, thought, you know what, this guy's right. This is too similar. I don't feel good about it. I took it down immediately. I emailed the creator. I said, my sincere apology. I apologize. Just to let you know, it's an old thing of mine, inspired by these people, but I can totally see the overlap. I really apologize. I'm sad that we're speaking for the first time on negative terms, but hope we can meet up soon. And he wrote back saying, thank you. I understand. No worries. Can't wait to meet up in the future. Settled properly, no drama, no need to create songs and dances. How this happens a million times a week in the magic industry. All that matters is how you handle it and if you handle it the right way. The good thing that comes from it is, and I've said this many times before on the channel, I love discovering that the ideas and creations that I come up with in certain times have been done before. I love it. And I bet you're thinking why. And the reason is, and I've said it a million times, because that then makes me want to go forth and find new and better methods that suit me more. And the occasions where this has happened to me, I've ended up coming up with some of my best work and creations ever. And when you create some, when you realize that this has been done before, this has been done before, this has been done before, and then you go, right, get rid of all that, I'm going to go further, then you end up in blue ocean territory where you end up with a creation that is yours, no one's touched it before, and you have all this new area to play with, and you end up with some really exciting, interesting, brand new concepts. So when this happens to you, don't get upset by it, don't get angry about it, handle it the right way, and then use it as inspiration and positivity to go forward and create new and better, interesting concepts. And that's all you need to do. So I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Please leave some comments down below. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. If you're feeling extra generous, drop me a like on the video. I know this was a longer video today, but those of you out there that love magic and mentalism and love exploring the important stuff, the golden nuggets of information that lie deeper within these concepts, then this one is for you guys. So I'll see you all on Sunday for the live Sunday session. And don't forget to tune in to the Murphy's social media on the 22nd of May, 10 a.m. PST for the special 7 Secrets live event. And maybe I'll be sharing something pretty incredible with you. See you soon.